Whoa, look at that. Let's buckle up, safety. Holy sh... Oh God, oh God damn it. Honda says that the driving experience of its first all-electric SUV, the Prologue, is just as comfortable as is exhilarating. We're here in upstate New York to test it out. It's in blue. I like this thing.
So yours, man.
Previous car I was driving was the Equinox, Chevy Equinox, based on the same platform. Keys look identical, and I know this is going to be pretty much the same car. Meeting up that morning, my producer and I set off from New York City in the 2024 Honda Prologue all-wheel drive Elite in Pacific Blue Metallic. The 2024 Honda Prologue all-wheel drive Elite has an 85 kilowatt-hour battery, giving you a range of 273 miles with 288 horsepower on 21-inch wheels. This is the top trim, setting you back $57,900. However, shortly after that disaster struck,
Yeah.
it got ran over.
Sorry, GoPro.
Since I had the Chevy, I made the mistake thinking this is where the wipers were, and I did it the other day, and the car went instant park. Like, I was like, oh shit, it's not there, it's different. Well, when I'm inside, it's definitely big. It's a big EV. At first, it's intimidating, but I think once you drive it more, especially after 10, 15 minutes, it gets really easy. It's comfortable to drive. I love how much there's a lot of space. You got the wide seats here, even the legroom in the back, I like it. But the driving itself, I feel like it's like I'm driving a normal car. It's nothing foreign, like, you know, if you're jumping into an EV first time, you get kind of intimidated by that really fast acceleration with that zero torque, but it's very moderate, which is good. The only thing though you gotta get acquainted to is with the Regen brake. So as soon as you lay off the accelerator, you definitely feel that push. You feel yourself going back to your seat because it's applying that brake. But after a few minutes, you kind of get used to it, you get adjusted, and then it becomes natural. These back roads are kind of tough because they're long and winding and there's some inclines. But I think it handles well. There's a good tight turning radius with the wheel. So even these tight corners, these tight turns, it does it really nice. Also pretty quiet. You know, we were on the highway a little bit a while ago. You could definitely hear some noise, but for the most part, it's a quiet ride. And what I like is you just slowly lay off the accelerator. You could feel that Regen brake already hitting. And then for the steeper, you could feel it. So there's like a safety element there too, because even if you're going downhill and you forget to, you know, hit the brake itself, it's already doing that for you. I think it's great for families because not only the size, you could pack a lot of stuff. And even if you have kids, there's a lot for them to do in the back seats. Not only is there ample legroom, but I do love how there's the sunroof here, opens up, nice wide panoramic, and it just adds to that calm feeling of driving this car. Oh yeah. One of the biggest complaints I have about the Prologue is just the boring, antiquated software. If you look at it, it reminds me like an airplane touchscreen display from 10 years ago. Very boring looking fonts, very big, very bland, lack of transition effects. It's just, it just makes it look dated. And for an EV, you expect something with a little bit more animation, a lot more modern looking user interface, but it doesn't have that.
How about on the exhilaration scale?
Exhilaration?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's probably a... Since I've seen other cars and EVs with heads-up displays and it's a lot more common nowadays, I'd probably give it a 7 at this point. It's a nice touch, but nothing spectacular that I haven't seen before. Another thing about the comfortable ride experience is the controls at your fingertips. So you have your smart cruise control. You could change the acceleration, your speed. You could slow down. The car is smart enough to gauge distance. So even if I am, don't have my foot on the pedal, it'll automatically apply the necessary acceleration and braking. And for me, as I'm driving, especially if you have kids, it's great because that's one thing you have to be, concerned about. You could kind of rely on it without being invested in it. Another perk about the Prologue is that there's a lot of space, in the console here. For example, you have your wireless charger, which unlike some other wireless chargers that have your phones flat, this one makes it upright because the car is moving. It's not shimmying around in the spot, so it stays put there, which is nice. You got your cup holders, which is great. And I also like this area right here. Just keep other things flat and at reach. And then you have also the cubby space down here. So a lot of room, a lot of space to put stuff away in. I've driven other luxury cars that have complete noise silence, almost like noise cancellation, but this is not bad for this type of vehicle. The thing about the Prologue is it can be affordable. If you get the base model, it starts at $47,000, but for this one I'm driving, this is the Elite, so top of the line. You're looking in excess over $55,000, which is a lot of money. But if that's out of your budget, I'd recommend taking a look at some of the lease options because they're really good for the Prologue right now. For example, $289 a month for 36 months with only $2,100 down. You get the Touring Edition, which is the middle trim of this. And I think that's great value for what it offers. That's the gigantic, no.
What do you think?
He's really tan. Size comparison. It's a sport utility vehicle, and even on bumpy roads like this, I'm not jostled too much. I was a little bit back there, but I think for the most part, it still manages to mitigate all those shocks. Beauty of backup cameras and 360 cameras. You see everything to your left, to your right, what's in front of you. You have even the red lines to tell you you're about to smack the car into something. Use front door. Fancy water, nice. If your hands are full, you have kids with you, you need to get access to the trunk, you can just use the foot activated lift gate to do it. God damn, it's probably a setting. Choose whether to exterior storage. Let's try that. It even has a foot activated lift gate. So now, you can just put your groceries without having to get your keys. There we go. Convenience at its finest. Not really.
All right, John, what we got here?
Stuff you really don't care about. You got the motor, probably the batteries. You got all the stuff that a car needs to run. Nothing usable, but no Frunk. You can't win them all. The other thing about the Prologue is that you have a lot of leg room in the back seat. Just look at the amount of room this is here. So if you have passengers, your kids, even grown-up adults, they'll have a lot of space to actually move around. They don't feel cramped. If you need extra trunk space, you could always pull down the seats. So it gives you extra room here, which is great for utility. For larger, things like cabinets and stuff, you could probably fit a decent sized TV as well. And for those of you who have families, kids, I know my brother and sister, they're big into this. They want to find these hooks for the kids' seats because a lot of cars don't have this. So it just protects them and keeps those seats down. Since filming this, I test drove the Prologue for a week. Despite having an EPA estimated range of 273 miles, the better than expected 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour efficiency I got from the Honda Prologue opens up the possibility of getting farther range just as long as you're driving modestly. The Honda Prologue may be more comfortable than it is exhilarating. However, I think it's a great investment, especially for a family, extra space, comfortable riding experience, and a lot of utility with all the features. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to watch all our EV videos on the channel and make sure to follow us on social @TomsGuide. I'm John V, and I'll see you in my next video.